Welcome back. Blight in Youngstown is a top issue, at least it is for me, and it is a priority of the Mahoning Valley Organizing Coalition, I'm saying coalition, collaborative. But joining me this morning is Chris Travers of the 7th Ward Coalition and Sybil West of the Bennington Block Watch. They're here to talk with us about it. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, Chris, Sybil, I'm happy that both of you are here. Now, I'm not going to stir the pot, but yes, I am. I'm going to stir the pot. Our elected officials promised us that they were going to do something about the blight in our area, and the MVOC is basically standing up and holding their feet to the fire, right?
I think that's I think that's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Okay. And just to explain a little bit about what the MVOC is, the Mahoning Valley Organizing Collaborative was created only a few years ago. And it was essentially started through a grant from the Wien Foundation. Mm-hmm. And the vision of the Mahoning Valley Organizing Collaborative is basically what everybody has is a shared interest. You know, we want to see a healthy, yes, stable community. And in order to do that, the mission of the MVOC is to identify leaders, have them step forward, and be able to move forward or identify some of our local issues and be able to hold our public officials accountable, or at least make sure that they're addressing the issues that we see in our neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And yes, there has been some recent disappointment on a few levels in that regard.
Well, neighborhood vacancy, to me, and blight is so important. Now, Sybil, you're with the Bennington Block Watch.
Yes.
What do you do over there, and how do you get folks all fired up?
Usually we're a senior Block Watch.
Senior? What
yes,
you talking about? No, I'm just kidding.
That addresses, issues, and blight, of course, mm-hmm, was just horrible, mm-hmm, on the east side. And that, when the MVOC came to town, that is what attracted me to join, okay, to be a part of this, where we can get something done in our neighborhood, And I think what alarms me so much is that the city officials are part of these neighborhoods.
Yes.
Why aren't they bothered like we are?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we need to make sure that our council folks say, okay, I live here too.
Right.
Let me do something about it. Now, you're from the 7th Ward, right, Mr. Travers?
Right.
And who is your councilman over there?
John R. Swires.
I love John Swires.
Yes.
I do. I love John Swires.
We all love him in the 7th Ward, believe me.
He's doing things over there, right?
Yeah, he has been an earnest advocate for the residents of the 7th Ward for as long as he's been in office. Mm-hmm. And we do like him. And we're not really here to say that city government is unresponsive.
We're not here to bash them. We're just here
No.
to say we want some more things done.
No, in fact, nothing that we have embraced as our issues at the MVOC is really anything new. Some of the things that we have discussed recently and made recommendations on have actually been in the pipeline for maybe up to 10 years. Yeah. And there are just some things where we ask the question, why is it taking so long?
What's taking so long?
Why, if a piece of legislation such as a vacant property registration piece has been in the pipeline for a year, why is it not, why hasn't anything happened yet? And those are the kinds of questions that we're asking.
I see.
Yeah.
Sybil?
And one of the things that we found out was all the legislation that is needed, mm-hmm, is already on the books in the city. It just needs enforcement.
Oh.
Okay, it doesn't need more legislation. You just need to enforce that which we have. And now my council person is Annie Gillum.
And I love Annie Gillum.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been very helpful. And even before she got to be, council person, she was always had that ear listening, mm-hmm, and trying to make things better, and things that I would call her on, she would always, address them, or at least return my call. So, she's been very instrumental. We just would like for the whole city to get on board with an organization that's trying to help the city.
And that's the MVOC.
Yeah, right. And we're not paid to do what we do. We just love our neighborhoods, okay? It has nothing to do, this is all for us, Chris and myself, of course, volunteer. You know, and when you see someone that's trying to do some good in the city, we need to get behind it.
Right. I agree with you. And you know, there's so many areas that I have seen that, you know, of course, I grew up in Youngstown on the south side. That's my area. My family home is still there, still remains there. My brother and his wife still live there. But there are some areas that I just say, okay, you know, have you called the councilman? You know, I'll tell my brother, have you called him? Or, you know, what are you doing to change this? You know, don't you know that grass needs to be cut? Or, you know, when grass gets over, you know, 2 feet high, that's when snakes and rats and rodents become friendly. Oh, okay, I'm just saying. And it's true, and we need to make sure that these areas of blight, that's when people want to take their trash and just toss it. Now, I will tell you, my church, which is St. Andrew's AME Church, I'm saying my church. Every church is my church, but my home church, at the end of that street, Chicago, I guarantee you, if we both got in, if we all got in my truck right now, I bet you there would be some tires there. Dumped.
Right.
I mean, I bet you there would be some trash or something dumped there. What is being done about it? Where is that Fifth Ward Council? Oh, okay. Where's that Fifth Ward Council person to say, you know, this needs to stop? This is what the MVOC is all about.
Well, certainly it is. But again, I think there's become maybe an expectation that when there's a problem, you know, our government's going to take care of everything, whether it's municipal government, county government, that they will just take care of it. There has to be some citizen participation in this
We
as
need
well.
to do it. Okay.
Okay, I'm not saying that, you know, we have to do it exclusively. Certainly there are things that our city government has the capacity to do, and we're not. Recently, you know, we made some recommendations that suggested that, well, we feel that, you know, we need to see a vacant property registration because we'd like to see a single point of focus. Okay, whenever there's high, you know, tall grass and weeds or dumping with the tires, as you just mentioned, who do we contact in order to take care of that? What about, you know, code enforcement? You know, code enforcement is big, and there's
a lot of folks don't know about that.
We need a coordinated division of inspection because you've got 5 different entities that are trying to do inspections, but they're not communicating with each other. But this is nothing new. There was an audit that was done about 10 years ago that pointed to the fact that, you know, it would be a great idea if these various departments, fire, health, building and grounds, streets and so forth, zoning, you know, those 5 inspectors, if they were all able to communicate more coherently, they may do a more efficient job of getting things done. So we're not looking at expanding the capacity, spending money that we don't have. We're looking at redeploying our assets and trying to make ourselves a lot more efficient, you know. And we are happy to point out that, you know, one of the measures that we were advocating back in March at a news conference, the Mahoning County Land Bank has actually started, and the board of the Mahoning County Land Bank has now met twice. They're in those formative stages. The current county treasurer has also committed solidly to starting to get things done prior to the end of the year. You know, and when I say get things done, transfer some properties that have been abandoned on a long-term basis and get those turned over to productive use and back onto our tax rolls.
And that's so important. It really is. I know of land that is literally right behind my family home. And those people have been deceased since I was 8 years old. And I'm quickly approaching 50. So I'm just saying, you know, there are so many things that, you know, what happened to those taxes? What, you know, are they not being paid? What do we need to do to call this to the attention of folks? And that's what the MVOC and what you're doing. And you know what, I'm very, very happy and proud that you're doing this, because it means that the citizens of our community are stepping up and saying, this is what we need to do. Now, you know, I'm gonna make my little call to action, you know, to the folks at St. Andrews. Maybe they can have a cleanup day. You know, take a Saturday, get somebody with a truck, and let's pick up those tires. Let's pick up those bottles. Let's do that. You know, I am so sure that if we ask the city to help us, you know, can you help us to find out where we need to dump this stuff or where we need to throw it away, it'll be done.
Well, that's one of the things that the MVOC has been really successful doing, is letting people know what's available to them and let the city know that we're working not against them or trying to buck them.
You're
but
collaborating.
Right, together, okay? And you have people out there in their neighborhoods cleaning and doing different things, you know, and it just mobilized the city, is what I'm saying. You're seeing activity on all four sides of towns in the city, because MVOC has showed us how to, you know, work with the problem and who to call and how to get some action done
to make it happen.
Right, right.
Right. I think it's important that, you know, when you take a look at the MVOC's mission, you know, the old saying is that if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you show him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. That is really what the MVOC is doing, because we have quite a number of community groups here in the city. And we were all working independently. Now we are working collaboratively through one single source in order to help get things done in our neighborhoods.
Well, Chris, Sybil, I'm just so thankful that you came here this morning on Community Connection to share this with our viewers. And I know that somebody watching this morning is going to say, you know what? I need to be a part of the MVOC, or I need to be a part of my block watch, or I need to be a part of my, you know, coalition in my ward. I need to get involved. And that's what we want.
Right.
Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us.